Today we'll be talking about the Cadisen C8230, a brand new watch for 2024 from Cadisen. Now this is an interesting piece. So $60 is what it's going to cost you. It's got a beautiful sunburst blue dial. You can get just one more color, the gray. So there's not too many color options about this watch. The sizing on here is absolutely amazing. We've got a diameter of 38.5 millimeters and the lug-to-lug length is 45.5 millimeters. So it fits almost any wrist size over 5.5 inches. There is one strangeness about this watch, but I want to touch about it when we actually get to the bezel section. I think I just gave it away. The strangeness is with the bezel. Now, no, the bezel action is really good. It's just that the design of it is a bit strange, but we'll get to it. Now the price here is $60 and I'll be leaving a link in the description below the video, so do check it out if you're interested in picking up a good price. Now, I like the watch. I think it's truly beautiful. It's an automatic self-winding piece, sapphire crystal, anti-reflective treatment, screw down crown, screw down case back. Everything about this stainless steel construction just sings out solid quality piece. So lots of positives. Even the loom is more than decent. But anyway, let's get into the details and talk about the Cadisen C8230. Let's do it. With regards to the dimensions, we get a diameter of 38.5 millimeters, or more like the case width. Also, we get a case height of 12.1 millimeters, a lug-to-lug length of 45.5 millimeters, and a lug width of 19 millimeters, tapering down to 16 at the clasp. The watch also features a 120-click unidirectional steel bezel. What makes this watch more interesting is that the screw and crown is actually positioned at 4 o'clock. Now, that is a bit strange considering the date window is not aligned. It's at 3 o'clock. It doesn't look strange, yet, there is a bit of dissonance there. The legibility here is superb. Simply look down at the dial and you can see it. You've got the very stark and sharp sunburst blue dial. You've got the chrome battens. And then you've got the loomed hands. What I actually do like about this is that there's no loom on the index buttons. The loom is actually applied to the reho where we've got the minute track. And there are dots at every 5-minute markings. And these really light the way for the hands, which are well loomed, to point at the markers. So telling the time on this watch is rather simple, but it's performed in a very elegant way. So it's not the usual diver fashion. Loom is not in your face, but it's bright enough to lead the way if you need to use the watch in the dark hours of the day. Looking at the profile of the case, we can really appreciate the assertive look of this flank. The lugs are pointing downwards very aggressively, and yet even from this profile view we can see how short the lug-to-lug length really is. The flank is brushed, but it's very finely, and it looks almost like a polished finish, although it's not. The transition to the brush lug hoods are done via smoothed bevels. There are no sharp corners on this watch, yet the design is still very strict, and yeah, it's good. It looks solid and almost chiseled out of just one piece of a steel bullion. We have a tall bezel sitting on here. It's got the coin edge finish. Very notchy, very comfortable to hold. The rotation action is sharp. Actually, rotating this bezel is so easy because of that notchy grip. There is consistent resistance across the rotation cycle. It's not heavy, but it's not light either. I think it's just the right kind of resistance that we get here. Also, there's minimal backplate, and that is very nice. The sound is sort of muted, making this almost a safe code kind of sound. Very precise and very satisfactory. So that is really good. We have the pip at 12 o'clock, but I think I need to mention this elephant in the room. This is not a GMT watch. Yet we get a GMT bezel on here, a 24-hour bezel. Now, I do not understand why Cadisen would do that. Now, I would expect it from some other cheaper brands, but why would Cadisen stick on a GMT bezel on a non-GMT watch? It just does not make sense. This is a 24-hour bezel. I love this watch. It's absolutely great. Looking down at the reho, which is slanting inwards, leading you down to this rich sunburst blue dial. And you're looking through sapphire crystal, which is treated with anti-reflected coating. Everything about this watch is just serious stuff. Look at that bracelet with inverted end links. It's got a milled clasp, so it's got the double pusher action. This is a milled folding wing. It's got 2 micro adjustments on there. It is signed. Everything about this watch just screams quality. Even if we look at the screw down case back, so we can see the specs on there. Sapphire crystal, self-winding automatic. We can see that this is a 100-meter water-resistant watch. So this is serious stuff. And then this bezel, it just slightly puts me off. Now, of course, that's looking into the detail, but that's what we're here to do. If you were just doing a glance over, you probably wouldn't even notice it. But then again, the price here is $60, so this is not a free watch, and it's not super budget. It's in the medium category, well, medium for this channel, $50 to $100. If we do a lume test, well, what can we see? As I was saying earlier, the legibility is excellent because those dots on the reho, the loomed dots on the reho, do provide enough light to guide the hands, the loomed hands of the watch. So potentially not as much lume as we would expect on a professional diver watch, but more than good enough for the daily wearer. So what do I think? Well, personally, I think this watch is interesting. I think it's something new and fresh. I just think that this bezel is a bit of a blooper. It doesn't make sense. This is a premium piece. The bracelet on here is absolutely amazing. The way the case is refined, the brushing style, everything is really good, but that bezel, it looks out of place. But anyway, $60. I do like the watch, to be fair. The dimensions are excellent. If you've got a smaller wrist, you're gonna love this. If you've got a bigger wrist, no issue either. But yeah, it's all in the bezel really. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully you did like this review. If you do like the watch interesting, do check out the link in the description below the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.